Hi, I'm Bhargawi, a cloud support engineer here at the AWS office in Bangalore. Today, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot the cancelling statement due to statement timeout error when migrating data to or from a PostgreSQL database with AWS Database Migration Service. Let's get started. This error typically occurs when AWS DMS tries to get data from the source or put data into the target database, but it can't finish running the commands within the default 60-second timeout period. This can happen if the source or target database is heavily loaded or there are logs on the tables. Review the AWS DMS task log to find the command that failed because of the timeout. After signing in to the AWS Management Console, navigate to the AWS DMS console. Click on Database Migration Tasks. Choose the AWS DMS task that failed. Then navigate to and select View CloudWatch Logs. This redirects you to Amazon CloudWatch Logs for the task. Look for errors in the AWS DMS task. Use the filter right bracket E:. We can see that the latest error message on the task is error cancelling statement due to statement timeout, error while executing the query. First, let's identify which statement failed to execute because of the timeout. In this case, a table failed to alter with the timeout settings in place. AWS DMS uses the execute timeout endpoint settings in both the source and target endpoints. Because the default value for execute timeout is 60 seconds, AWS DMS times out if a query takes longer than 60 seconds to execute. Issues such as locking or blocking, stale table statistics, and tables without a primary key or unique key causes AWS DMS to do a full table scan during ongoing replication. These issues can cause long execution times. To troubleshoot this, identify why a specific statement is taking more than 60 seconds to execute. For that, use the queries provided in the Knowledge Center article linked in the video description. Next, to increase the timeout value, follow these steps. In the AWS DMS console, go to the source or target Postgres endpoint based on where the error occurred. Modify the endpoint, expand endpoint-specific settings, and then set execute timeout to a higher value such as 3600 seconds. You can also increase the statement timeout and log timeout parameters in the PostgreSQL instance. There is another scenario where you might receive a timeout error in the AWS DMS task with Postgres as the source. For a task configured with ongoing replication, AWS DMS must create a replication slot on the source database to collect the changes. In PostgreSQL, the replication slot can't be created on the database if there are any active transactions. This can cause the task to fail with a timeout error if the slot creation isn't completed within the defined threshold. If the timeout occurred during replication slot creation, then you will see errors such as the following. If the source is very busy and you can't find a window to start the AWS DMS task successfully with the default timeout, then you might want to consider increasing this timeout. To increase the transaction consistency timeout parameter in the AWS DMS task settings from the default 600 seconds, follow these steps. Go to the corresponding AWS DMS task. Choose Actions and then select Modify. You can only modify a task that's not currently running. If the task is running, then you might want to stop the task to modify it. Go to Advanced Task Settings and then select Transaction Consistency Timeout Seconds. Change the timeout value as needed. Choose Save and then restart the task after the task is modified. To mitigate the issue of slot creation, refer to the Knowledge Center article. If issues continue, then you might need to work with a PostgreSQL database administrator to identify and resolve any bottlenecks in the database configuration. And now you know how to troubleshoot the cancelling statement due to statement timeout error when migrating data to or from PostgreSQL with AWS DMS. Thanks for watching and happy cloud computing from all of us here at AWS.